Obviously the club's now launched a new change kit. We've seen some changes to the playing staff, as you've already mentioned there. A number of decisions have been made, but there are still some other players who are out of contract. What's the situation with them? We're talking about the likes of perhaps Gary O'Connor, Mark Brown. I know there are a couple of other players perhaps in a similar situation. Have you made decisions on those players?
Yeah, we've spoke to most of the players at this stage. We spoke to them all, so we're sort of talking to one or two of them at the moment in relation to maybe staying. So all them things are, like I said, it's part of the rebuilding, and without going into giving people names and all that, it's difficult to do that at the moment because we want to make sure we get things across the line, do it right, have it done, and then say to people, well, look, this is what we've done. Now we move on to the next one. So there's a lot going on at the moment in relation to players, whether it be current players who are out of contract here and players that we're chasing outside of the club.
Still getting to know you as a character and vice versa. For their benefit, what makes you tick? What drives you on?
Passion, desire. I just feel we've been, we played second fiddle and we've been behind, and we've been too nice as a team and as a club for a period of time. I think that needs to change, and that's what I'm talking about, the change in the place. We need to stand up and be very proud of what we are, and let people know that that's what we are, and get the club back to where it should be. It's easy to talk, and it's easy for me to sit here and try talk to supporters and tell them that, and it's all about actions. The words they've probably had for a while now, so we need to show them what we're trying to do and what we're about on the pitch and off the pitch.
Is it easier for you to bring in players that perhaps already have a sound understanding of what you want, as opposed to trying to preach to players that are perhaps already here to begin with? Or what's your general mindset towards reshaping this Hibs team into becoming Pat Fenlon's team?
Well, I think we've got the one players we have left here. We've got some quality players there. We've got a lot of young ones. We've got one or two that have taken a little bit of a beating probably over the last year in relation to their confidence that we need to get back. I firmly believe that needs encouragement. It needs me needs them to go and play and have the belief in their own ability. But also needs that core of players that's going to improve them and going to help them along. What I spoke about earlier on, that senior player that's going to come in and be a help both on and off the pitch to some of the younger players we have here. And it's to develop a team and a squad that is nice to watch at times, but is when it's not that type of a game and it's not going for us on the day, that we don't give in, we don't lose matches. And that's what we've got to try to develop here. I feel that that's the way the place has been for a while. There's been a softness about the football club that needs to change, and that's what we're working on. And that's why people say just go out and get players, but we need to get it right once. That's important. That there's been a massive turnover of players here in the last 2 or 3 seasons, and we have to make sure that the ones that come in this time are the right ones that want to play and are going to improve the football club.
Is it sometimes difficult because, taking into account quite a topical subject at the moment, budgets in the SPL, we are perceived to be a very big club, but we're also a club that cuts our cloth accordingly. We don't overspend, and off the back of that, is it difficult sometimes to try to bring in the right player, because obviously the fans want a superstar, but obviously when it all boils down to it, we can only afford what we can afford.
Yeah, it's tough times for everybody, and the uncertainty in the game at the moment is difficult for all the clubs, and we're no different than anyone else. But we've got to try and make the best of that, and make sure we identify the right players that are in our bracket and go after them and convince them enough in relation to the contracts we're offering, but also in relation to what the football club is about and what we have here as a football club, to come and sign for us, and to have a desire and a belief that they're coming to play for a big football club. It's not always about money, and in fairness, I think a lot of players at the moment, there isn't lots out there for players to sign up to. So we're in a position where we know what we have budget-wise. Obviously every manager would like more money, that's the way it is as a manager, but we've got to make sure we use what we have and utilise what we have. As well as having a budget, we've got to utilise what we are, and what we have here as a setup, and try and entice players to come in relation to that, as well as finance.